It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Balvano's fight against cancer.
It's V-Week on ACC Network Extra. It's been 7 years since these two teams met in the season opener in 2015. William & Mary came into PNC Arena and shocked the Wolfpack with an 85-68 victory. Can the upset-minded Tribe do it again, or will NC State continue its strong start to the season? We welcome you courtside here at PNC Arena. Hello, everybody. My name's Andrew Sanders here with Chris Corciani. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, NC State coming off a great week in the Bahamas, feeling good about the start to their season. They're doing it with some great play in the front court.
I'll tell you, Coach Keats has a luxury of having two big guys inside. They're both bangers. They play a brand of basketball. It's a bully ball. Here you see Mahorcic powering it up. They got two guys in the front court that really can play.
Yeah, whether it's Mahorcic or DJ Burns who's going to get the start tonight, you could start either of them. They're going to split 40 minutes. They combined for 27 on Friday in the win over Butler. Good atmosphere here inside PNC Arena. Burns in the center circle to jump it up with Noah Collier. And we are underway.
So this is going to be a good one, Andrew. We're coming off a really good showing in the Bahamas. Should be fun to see this team go.
Wolfpack going 2-1 over the Thanksgiving week tournament. Burns passes out of the double, gets Terquavion Smith, an open three.
I tell you, that's what Terquavion can do. He can light it up. But the nice part about that play was Burns, very patient. He saw the double team come, and he made a great cross-court pass for the bucket.
He averages an assist per game. He's already at his quota. Inside, they'll go to Collier. 5-on-5 here. Clark forces the missed shot, and the long rebound trickles out of Jarkel Joyner. He's in attack mode. Smith another three. And Burns working hard underneath.
I tell you, that's what he does. He trashes the boards. He gives you an offensive presence. Everybody knows about Smith and what Jarkel Joyner can do. When Burns is in the game, you're going to see an emphasis to really go into him.
Anders Nelson is the point guard for William & Mary, taking over early in this season. Chris Mullins. Collier attacking, baseline, tough shot, got it to go.
Well, Collier drove baseline and made an acrobatic shot to put William & Mary on the board. I tell you, we talked to Coach Fisher before the game, and they played Virginia Tech, and they were down 12-0 before they could blink their eyes. So I'm sure it was good to see that bucket go down for Coach Fisher and William & Mary.
Yeah, third ACC game already for the Tribe. They played more ACC games than anybody, right? And they hope that that experience against Virginia Tech and against Pitt last Friday helps them in this contest. And obviously nobody was around back in 2015 for that victory, but always good when you got a little history on your side, right?
Yeah, no doubt. They came in there. I'll never forget it. We were doing the game together.
That's right.
They didn't just come in here and win. They came in and won decisively.
By 17. Inside, this is Ben White, and just strong, straight-up defense from Burns. Stolen. Gabe Dorsey, his first touch on the basketball. Top shooter for the Tribe. And Jarkel Joyner picks his pocket.
He's the difference maker so far for NC State. He plays both ends of the court. I mean, offensively dynamic, but defensive, that's where he sets the tone.
It's the first transition bucket for NC State, a category where they lead the ACC. And something that we'll keep track of tonight. How much can William & Mary limit the turnovers? Nelson fouled by Morcell. He lost his footing. Coach Keats didn't see it that way. We're going to look at how good NC State has been in these types of games, non-conference, regular season, home games, 40-2.
Well, it's one thing to take care of the teams, you know, preseason, these type of games. But I tell you, they went on the road to the Bahamas, and they were really impressive. I mean, that was a test, the first real test, and played great in all three of those games against very good teams.
White going to work on Burns again. Boy, he's got great footwork underneath, but so far he hasn't got a shot on the rim on Burns. NC State turns it over, however. And it's William & Mary able to turn a turnover into a layup.
You know, that's what William & Mary wants NC State to play in the half-court offense. Coach Fisher said the one thing he's really worried about is NC State getting out in transition. So this is what William & Mary wants.
Tip out. Burns wins the possession back for NC State. Jack Clark loads up for three.
Clark's one of those guys that, here you go again, Jarkel Joyner.
Showtime!
Tell you, he does it more so on the defensive end. It's not only the pressure, it's the steals that he creates. Tell you what, if I was a point guard, I would not want to be playing against Jarkel Joyner.
Strong foul by Burns. And that'll take us to our immediate timeout. The Wolfpack lead it by 5. Jarkel Joyner already 2 steals.
I tell you, there's a thief in the building, and it's Jarkel Joyner. Here's the first of 2 with the lay-in. He's just tough. He's an older player, just picking pockets out there and helping NC State off to.
Well, Jarkel Joyner has already gotten NC State off to a nice start. 2 pickpockets at midcourt, leading to layups. And, well, he's the reigning ACC Player of the Week because he had quite a 3 games in the battle for Atlantis, 27 in the win over Dayton. And so we've seen his defense. He can bring scoring as well. He's got that veteran, that experience factor that he brings to this team. And he has been a huge difference for NC State.
He certainly has had a great start to the season, you know, being named Player of the Week in the ACC. But to me, it's the leadership. You know, I think everybody has so much respect for him on the team. Everyone knows this is Terquavion's team. But a 5th-year senior coming in right away, establishing, you know, follow me. I know the way it can be done. And that's the thing that I'm most impressed with.
Joyner, the leading scorer for NC State so far, 3rd leading scorer in the ACC. At just over 18 points per game. William & Mary's leading scorer, Ben White, knocks down his free throws, and he'll get a quick breather coming off a career-high 24 against Pitt on Friday. It is a turnover as Jack Karasinski is the first to the floor, just on the floor for William & Mary. Dorsey a spot-up 3. You can count it.
He can shoot it if he's open. He can do a lot of different things. He's very athletic, but it's got a great stroke with his left hand.
Not there for Smith this time on a deep 3. Well within his range. Karasinski will set his feet, and it's back-to-back triples from William & Mary.
And I tell you, it's back-to-back great plays by Anders Nelson, getting in the lane and finding the shooter on 2 consecutive plays.
Now Anders Nelson has taken over the point guard duties. He got his first start against Army just a couple weeks ago, and he's running the show now. And shooting 3s is what William & Mary does. They lead the CAA 40% for the season as a team. Morcell creates his shot off the bounce.
You know, Morcell's been so impressive. You know, I thought earlier in the year, I thought NC State was going to be good, but I thought they could be great if Morcell really stepped his game up, and he has been super consistent and consistently great.
Down the floor, Clark hanging and hitting. Jarkel Joyner setting that one up.
That's what a point guard does, find the open man ahead. But I tell you, Clark's the kind of guy, I don't think the NC State fans realize just how good he can be. You know, he's shown glimpses, but he's going to have a breakout game where he goes for 20-plus here soon.
Nelson got to get rid of it. He finds Dorsey, short corner jumper. He'd prefer to be behind the 3-point line. And now Smith looking to push. Usually it's the other way around, but the guards can set each other up. Joyner can't knock that one down.
You know, that's nice when they both can handle the ball, they both can pass, and they both can score.
Sure.
You know, it's a tough dynamic duo to defend for any opposing team.
Dorsey another 3. He's feeling it.
Wow, that's a big-time shot. He kind of broke down the defense and lunged back and hit a deep 20-footer.
The Tribe 3 for 3 on the night, and it's coming their last 4 possessions to open up a 2-point advantage.
You know, talking to Coach Fisher, he said 2 things to us. He said, we have to shoot the 3 ball well, and we have to hit the offensive boards.
Smith Thought he got hit on the arm, no call. Yeah, we haven't seen them really crash the O boards yet because they haven't missed too many shots.
They have shot the lights out early.
Dorsey dribbles off of his foot. And that'll be, at least for Coach Fisher's sake, a dead ball turnover.
Right, he'll live with those. I mean, those are not the problem. He doesn't want the ones that NC State gets a run-out, easy bucket on the other end.
Fourth season. Prior to this was an assistant at George Mason under Dave Paulson. And William & Mary coming off a tough year last year, won 5 games. Reset the roster. They've got 10 newcomers, 5 transfers, 5 freshmen. You see some of those newcomers stepping in, and those transfers, whether it be Collier or the point guard Nelson. Here's a nice feed inside. Mohorčić will go to the line to shoot 2. And that is the case in college basketball, right? NC State on the other side, they bring in 4 impact transfers, and you can kind of rebuild your roster year to year.
No doubt. That it's a new day and age. I mean, you know, the time where freshman's going to wait his turn and get better. Now they're moving. You know, 10 new players for Coach Fisher and William & Mary. And NC State, I tell you, they've got 4, but all 4 have made an immediate impact this year.
And we were asking him about the newcomers, and he was joking with us, saying, "Yeah, you guys have this conversation a lot, right?" Like, yeah, we do. Every team is like that for the most part. It is rare, you know, that we'll have a game and talk to a coach and say, "Hey, you know, you got a couple of freshmen, but you know, everybody's trying to obviously add to their team, bring in some impact transfers."
Right. As soon as the season's over, I mean, the portals, that's where college coaches are now going to recruit. Kind of interesting. Breon passes in early. He hasn't been seeing early minutes, and Greg Gant also in early.
So Coach Keats using a bit more of his bench here early, giving a couple of guys early first half opportunities. A strong rebound by Gant. He lost his footing. He was fouled. And we'll see. Yeah, they're going to get it on White here. That'll be his first.
You know, Gant's one of those players for Coach Keats. Really haven't seen him out there a whole lot to evaluate him. You know, I think this NC State team right now, they have an identity. They know who they are. They've all settled into their roles. But Greg Gant is that one question mark. We really haven't seen him out there to see exactly what he can do.
Morcell with the corner 3, and that has been his shot. With Joyner and Terquavion Smith, you're going to get a lot of open looks, and he's shooting about 50% on the year.
He's going to get a lot of open looks, just like you said, but he's the first one in the gym every game working on his shot, so it's great to see that happen.
Tyler Rice will go to the line for an old-fashioned three-point play, but it's been the triples that have had William & Mary tied in this game. They've hit 3 for 3. Tie game at the under 12 timeout with Chris Corciani. I'm Andrew Sanders. A look at the series history. Now, these two programs have only met twice since 1995, but back in the old SoCon, as you see, NC State dominant in the SoCon, and they met 18 times there. As we were alluding to earlier, last time they met, the opener 7 years ago, a huge win for William & Mary.
You know, they took the bus ride down here. They didn't come here just to play. They came to win, and that was an impressive win 7 years ago for William & Mary.
Yeah, Caleb Martin led all scorers in that game with 21 points. Wolfpack fans will remember Terry Henderson. He got hurt 7 minutes into that game. He missed the rest of the season. It was a tough year for NC State that year. Daniel Dixon led the way for William & Mary as Morcell will try another 3. And Gant was fouled by Tyler Rice.
I tell you, William & Mary is doing something interesting. When the ball goes inside to Mohorčić or Burns or double team, and NC State has not seen that thus far this year. It's going to open up shots for the perimeter players. They just need to knock them down.
Joyner steps on the sideline as he started to make his move.
You know, this is the way William Mary wanted to play. Just hang around, limit the turnovers, hit the offensive boards. They've got to be real pleased where they are right now.
They led for almost the entirety of the first half on Friday at Pittsburgh and had a 4-point lead at halftime. Pitt came out on fire to start the second half, made 13 of their first 18 shots and pulled away, won by double figures. But yeah, this is a William & Mary team, especially when they're knocking down the three, as they do. Or tough pull-up jumpers like that. Jack Karasinski feeling it.
That's just a nice shot, one dribble. Didn't go too far into the defense. Raised up and hit it.
Karasinski, one of the bigger recruits on the roster. He's a top 3 player out of Michigan. Had over a dozen Division I offers. Smith rises up. That's a rainmaker.
He amazes me every game. You know, just to be able to get that shot off in traffic, knocks it down. He's just a very electric player.
Tough drive by Rice. Won't fall. NC State wants to run. And an air ball in the shot put by Greg Gant. That's a tough call for Jake Milkwright. He got up in the air. Or pardon me, that was White who will be called for his second. So we get a look at Baby T.
I tell you, talk about confidence. I mean, he's fierce, he's a competitor, but he's got so much confidence on the court. And the rest of the team, they see that and they feed off of it.
That's the second foul for the Tribe's best player, Ben White. And a tough one as Milkwright got up in the air, kind of forced a pass in, and White trying to make something happen, knocking over Joyner. And so he'll head to the bench with his second foul. We'll see how the Tribe handles without their leading scorer and rebounder from last season.
It's interesting. NC State now playing with 2 big men with Gant and Mahorcic.
Maybe just a heat check from Terquavion Smith. I think he can get that shot whenever he wants. Nelson back in the game, running the point. He had a couple of early turnovers against Jarkel Joyner. Karasinski, another tough move, missed it off the window.
I tell you, he did the hard work getting there. He just wasn't able to finish it.
Oh, the stop and the start, hesitation dribble. Scrap for the loose ball, and it's Joyner who comes up with it. And NC State has gone cold from the floor. They got Nelson switched off on Mahorcic. He'll rise up. NC State's missed its last 4 shots. Terquavion shot that one from window, and he still can't find it.
Yeah, you got to take the good and bad with Terquavion. It wasn't a great shot, but he's capable of knocking those down.
Smith 2 for 6 here in the early going. Mullins, baseline, got Mahorcic up in the air and still blocked his shot.
Oh, that's pretty. That's what you didn't see last year. Smith with the look ahead down the court. You can see his game is changing.
Timeout, William & Mary. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the ACC Network Extra. Well, Coach Fisher and William & Mary calling a quick timeout as soon as he saw NC State get out in transition.
Yeah, that's what he doesn't want. That's the one thing he wants him to play in the half court. There you see the great pass by Smith up to to Marcel. That's the part of Smith's game that has really evolved. He doesn't need to do everything. He's got a great supporting cast this year, and you're seeing other guys really step up, and he's trusting in his teammates.
See NC State leading the ACC 6th in Division I, over 21 fast break points per game. It's one thing if Jarkel Joyner gets a steal right at midcourt. There's nothing you can really do as a coach to prevent that, but he calls that timeout there to remind his guys that it's an interesting line they're trying to walk tonight, right? Where part of their identity, a big part of it, is to crash the offensive glass. But at the same time, he's asking his guys, look, you're going to run a lot tonight, and if you get tired, we're going to sub you out because you got to do both. You got to get offensive rebounds and get back.
Well, it's tough to do both. I mean, a lot of times you either have to crash the offensive glass and kind of know you may give up some easy ones, or you don't send everybody to the offensive boards, but that's not what they've chosen to do.
Clark trying to crash the offensive glass. The ball will stay on this end. So far, we're tracking the rebounds. NC State up 7. That'll go down as a team rebound, but State with 4 offensive rebounds. William & Mary, none yet.
Well, that William & Mary really wants to do that. That's the culture that Coach Fisher has wanted to develop, is always crashing offensive boards. I'll tell you, it's interesting, when Burns is in the game, they make a conscious effort to really get him the ball.
Morcell, another one from that spot. And the Wolfpack go up 6. Largest lead so far for NC State. This is Chase Lowe for the first time. And he'll go to the free throw line, which gives me time to tell you that the young man from Weddington, North Carolina, the North Carolina Player of the Year in high school last year. This is a big game for him in his home state.
No question, always coming home is great. You got your friends and family. I'm sure they all drove down, and I'm sure he's got a bunch of people here watching him play tonight.
Weddington High School won 49 consecutive games there, back-to-back state championships, and was the MVP of both of those championship games.
That's impressive. William & Mary playing a man-to-man, but it's a very soft man-to-man. They're kind of surrounding the basket, playing defense a little the way Tony Bennett in Virginia plays, just surround the three-point line.
Chris Mullins will be called for the foul there, the Rice transfer. Well, Smith, he missed a couple of deep ones. He's made a couple of deep ones now.
You know, I tell you, if I was an opposing coach, I just don't know how you guard that. I mean, he's shooting shots that you don't think are good, and he's so capable of knocking them down. When he gets hot, there's nobody in the conference that can score like him.
Mullins blows by and scores.
It's just too easy to get beat off the dribble is one thing, but there has to be help. Somebody's got to slide over and help. So not only did they get beat, but there was no rotation.
Chris Mullins over 1,000 points in his Rice career, where he started over 100 games for the Owls. Oh, Clark got hit on the face. This should be on the floor, and it is. Another look at this drive by Mullins.
Just a little blow by, no help. But I tell you, there was another guy named Chris Mullins back in the 80s, a lefty at St. John's that could fill it up. Used to love watching him play.
Short corner jumper goes down for Jarkel Joyner. I remember Chris Mullins.
You old enough for that?
Towards the later stages of his career.
Had a great career with the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Then he went on to coach. I know he went back to St. John's and coached there for a while.
No S, though, on his name.
That is true.
Collier, the pit transfer. Tough shot, and Jack Clark snares the rebound. Boy, Clark has done an excellent job of that from his stretch 4 position. T again.
Tell you, that one he was wide open. He's not used to that. He likes when he's got people hanging on him and he's fading away.
the fastest player in Wolfpack history to 100 made three-pointers for his career.
That's good defense right there. Stay down.
Mullins, another tough take.
You know, Jack Clark came over. He's just got to step up. He's too low.
The pick and roll, lob inside. And Mahorcic finishes.
I tell you, he's tough. You get the ball that low, he just backs you down. You know, you saw it in the Butler game against Manny Bates, who's a good shot blocker. They just took it at him.
This will be staying on this end. 3 subs for Coach Fisher. Mullins, Lowe, Nelson. It'll be 4 subs, actually. This is part-time hockey arena, nearly a line change. Yeah, okay. I only saw 3 guys go on the court. Collier came off as well. Said, hold on, I'm back out there.
You know, that benefits NC State. They've got a deeper bench. So the second half, look for NC State to wear them down a little bit.
And a turnover as Dorsey just couldn't handle it.
I'll tell you, L.J. Thomas, he's come in. He's gotten a lot more minutes lately. Coach Keats is trusting in him coming in and spelling the guards, and he's not doing anything great. He's just playing his role and playing real hard.
Joyner lost it and commits the foul in the open court. That'll be his first, and just the team's 5th. Burns on the bench with the 2 fouls. Ben White on the bench for William and Mary with his 2 fouls, and so both big guys underneath saddled with the foul trouble.
Tell you, what a luxury to have Mahorcic and Burns for Coach Keats. 2 guys down there that can score. You know, last year they didn't have that. You know, they had to really depend on their guards. This year they got 2 guys that are crafty, tough, and both can put it in the bucket.
Dorsey forcing it up. NC State gets another layup off of a missed shot.
I tell you, they push it down your throat. Nice decision. Joyner saw Clark streaking. I tell you, Clark's one of those guys. I can't wait for him to start hit a bunch of shots because he's capable.
Charlie Williams uses the window for his first points of this game. The freshman with White in foul trouble. Seeing some minutes here in the first half. Thomas an open 3. He can knock down that shot.
A great pass. I mean, that's a tough pass to make from Smith all the way cross court to Thomas. Like I said, Thomas is he's getting some good minutes and he's producing.
He's 3 for 5 in his young career from downtown.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful pass. I love it. You give Jarkel the hockey assist, but Smith found the big man running and rewarded him.
And this is exactly what Coach Fisher was concerned about. Joyner all over Dorsey. There's an offensive rebound. Mateus Case saves the possession for William and Mary, but NC State out and running early. It's V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Andrew Sanders here with Chris Corciani. It is, of course, the 40th year anniversary of the 1983 championship team. Coach Valvano leading the Wolfpack to its second national championship.
tell you, 40 years. People around here, we will never forget about it, though we want to add more. We want more. And we've heard about 83. We're so proud of them. It's wonderful to, hear all about that, and the players are all around. But we're hoping for more championships.
NC State going to have a reunion, 40th year reunion. Clark a deep three. He hits that. Boy, NC State not shy.
No, they're letting it fly from all ranges. Okay, I've watched a lot of players over the years shoot the basketball. Jack Clark, to me, has the nicest shot. I'd put it right up there with Scott Wood, Rodney Monroe, some of the great shooters in NC State history. His shot and his form is flawless.
Dorsey, an answer, not this time. Williams reaches up high for the rebound, and well, I thought we were going to see a tie-up signal. Possession arrow favors the Tribe. Well, NC State shot some deep shots, but you know what? They're 7 of 15.
Yeah, they're shooting the ball extremely well. It's nice to see Clark hit that one, knock it down. On this end of the court, you're seeing exactly what Coach Fisher preached. Go to the offensive glass. He's trying to create a culture that he says the offensive rebound kind of deletes a turnover.
Yeah, they're trying. That's the goal every game is, look, they're trying to have more offensive rebounds than turnovers. It's tough to do, but if you do it, they like their chances.
Right, you don't hear many teams really make an emphasis of that's what we want to do. That's who we want to be.
Their leading rebounder, Collier, gives it up to Williams. He does beat the buzzer, and the freshman Thomas with the board. 1 minute left in this first half.
That's what I really like about Joyner's game. He had it down in the front court, didn't rush, didn't panic, pulled it back out.
Terquavion Smith. No 4-point opportunity, but he will go to shoot 3. He's got some handles too now. He's not just a shooter.
No, he's electric. I mean, he can do so many things. But I tell you, the part of his game that the NBA scouts wanted to see is, evolve into more of a playmaker. And you're seeing that from time to time. Now, he's still a volume shooter, no doubt about it. But you're seeing him try to get other people involved. And that's, that was the big knock on him when he went to the NBA combines. Can he be more of a playmaker?
And I think right away he's shown that. He's averaging over 5 assists per game. And last year, he had so much on his shoulders, right? And had to, take a large volume of shots. Whereas this year, as you talked about, guys kind of know their roles, and this team really fits together well.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I think, first of all, he knows he needs to evolve his game and get better in different areas, but he also has a better supporting cast this year.
Well, he gets just 1 of 3. Pretty good free throw shooter. And an offensive foul. Collier was spotted underneath, banging bodies with Ernest Ross, I believe.
Yeah, Collier checked him. It looked like a hockey check, banged Ross out of position and got called for it.
Smith driving baseline. Ross couldn't handle it. Shot clock is off. Nelson out to Mullins. And a great finish to the half for William and Mary as they get a buzzer-beating 3. Chris Mullins. But it's still a 15-point lead for NC State. Hot shooting for the Wolfpack, really the story. 7 of 15 from deep.
They've shot the ball extremely well. That's really kind of extended their lead. It's a 15-point lead, but if they weren't shooting the ball that well, this game could be a lot closer.
Halftime here in Raleigh.
Offense. The battle travels with it. And so we're going to have a timeout with 12. Come in for Houston, too. Geddes with his second personal. He crossed up the middle.
It's a very interesting idea by Jim Valvano. 4 fellas playing zone, 1 playing man-to-man. And the guy they're playing man-to-man on is Young.
Still complaining, Billy, about that goaltending. Look at him.
But I think it was such a good block. It just surprised Jim Valvano.
Well, as you said many times, he might be working the official. Boy, David Rose comes in, and he looks like he's mad at somebody the way he plays defense. The second field goal of the second half. Both of the second. Now, let's check statistically on this ball club. The best free throw.
Got his guys fired up to play this game. Now, NC State's playing a little Chinese defense.
6-0 has taken a 7-6 lead. Jim Valvano with a 10-year contract in his hip pocket.
Bigger people. There's a very small lineup on the court. Surprised he even reached it on that shot.
Well, he made the biggest shot of his life, no question about it.
And there is the happiest man in America about to celebrate what, in my opinion, will go down as one of the greatest coaching jobs.
North Carolina State, the NCAA champions, the 3 seniors from Washington, D.C., Wittenberg, Lowe, and Bailey. Gary, Billy was kidding.
Coach Valvano leading NC State to the 1983 National Championship game in Albuquerque. Here at halftime alongside Chris Corciani, I'm Andrew Sanders. You know, Coach V was known as a great in-game tactician, right, but also just as a great person, had an outsized personality. Ray Romano's going to play him in a new movie coming out soon. And what did he mean to you and to this program at NC State?
I tell you, that man that we just saw in the clip is the reason I came to NC State. That team helped. But Coach D, you know, everybody knows about his charisma and the larger-than-life personality. But he was the most intelligent person that I was ever around. And if you asked his family or you asked him, what's the most important thing? Not winning the 1983 National Championship. It's the legacy he has left and the amount of money that has been raised for cancer research.
An incredible legacy. Of course, he gave that iconic speech at the ESPYs, don't ever give up. But maybe not as many people have seen the speech that he gave in Reynolds Coliseum just shortly prior to that.
Well, you know, I was fortunate to hear so many speeches, you know, halftime speeches, before the game speeches. He was just an iconic person. But again, the legacy that he has left and the amount of money that he has raised is the thing that he would be most proud of.
Here is Coach V in Reynolds Coliseum.
The 83 team taught me about dreaming and the importance of dreams, because nothing can happen if not first a dream. If you have someone with a dream, if you have a motivated person with a dream and a goal and a vision, if you have someone who never gives up, who has great hope, and that team taught me the persistence, the idea of never, ever quitting. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop fighting.
NC State with 12 fast break points in the first half. They lead it by 15. We'll be back with highlights and stats and more V-Week after this.
I never imagined that I'd be able to be standing here 20 years after Jimmy V's speech.
I hear Jimmy's words in my head.
The most poignant 7 words ever uttered in any speech anywhere.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
So I will never give up.
To be honored with this, I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up. I listened to all that he said, everything that he asked of us, and that's to build the V Foundation.
What I would like to be able to do is to spend whatever time I have left and to give and maybe some hope to others.
We are going to find a cure for cancer.
Because of all the donations, research, and support, mine is one of the lives that's been saved.
Jimmy, my man up there, we are not going to stop chasing our dream to beat cancer.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those 3 things are going to carry on forever.
It's V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. Again, game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Please, if you can, join the fight. Andrew Sanders here with Chris Corciani. Halftime, Wolfpack leading 43-28, and NC State with plenty of offensive highlights in the game's first 20 minutes and kind of getting it done both ways, right? We've highlighted them and their ability to get out and run and get some easy transition buckets, but they're also shooting the lights out from three.
Yeah, they've scored both ways that Coach Keats wants to do it. One is getting out in transition. Here you see Joyner pushing it up, Smith finding Duchamp for the slam. Then you're seeing the three-point ball. They shot 7 for 15. If you can get it in transition and you also shoot the ball well, that's a good combination.
And Terquavion Smith with 10 points. Casey Morsell with 10 also. Both of them have hit multiple three-point buckets. Get a look, William and Mary got off to a hot start from three. They had an early lead in this game, 17-15. Since then, 0 for 5 from deep. And the assist rate from NC State way up there. What do you like to say, Chris? Sharing the sugar.
Yeah, you got to share the sugar. You know, this team likes one another. And I tell you, you can't realize how important that is when you're playing with guys you like and you create a special bond. You tend to share the ball a lot more. And this team, they like one another. They play hard. They've had early success. All that's contagious.
Just about set for the second half. Now, we do not see Ben White on the floor for William & Mary to start the second half. I was going to say he got saddled with some early foul trouble, and for the final 10 minutes of the half, they were without their best player.
It was a tale of two halves. I mean, William & Mary hung around the first half, actually had a lead early in the first half, and then the second part of the first half, NC State pulled away.
How about that post to post?
It's beautiful. Interior passing, it's a lost art, but you just saw it right there by NC State.
First possession for the Tribe here in this second half. And too much defense inside. Terquavion was there along with Mahorcic, and I think in blocking that shot, Duchamp maybe got him in the back of the head.
Is that right? Yeah, it's friendly fire there, but Mahorcic did a nice job coming over and helping Terquavion with the potential score.
And a layup off the inbounds as Collier beats his man.
Now, you hate to see that. You want to make them work to score. Just a little pick-to-picker. William & Mary was able to take advantage and got an easy bucket.
Joyner, tough runner. No.
Joyner's going to get 2 shots here. He does a really nice job of penetrating and avoiding the defender. He actually jumps to the side. He's very gifted, talented, strong. I tell you, I could bring the ball up against most players. He's one guy I wouldn't even want to try to do it against. His defense has been unbelievable. Here you see him with a good straight line drive, but he does enough just to avoid the defender and get fouled.
Saw Nelson there, called for the foul. Second free throw rattles out. One of the rare misses from the line for an 87% free throw shooter. You're talking about bringing the ball up against him, and that's what Nelson's had to do. And, well, they say Joyner, in practice against the other NC State guards, he's a nightmare for him.
Yeah, he sets the tone. You got a leader like him who's played in a lot of games. Here you see him just dogging the ball. The players that do it in practice, they bring it to the game, and that's the thing. Joyner's a new player, but everybody has great respect for him.
Collins took a hard spill, fell on his tailbone. Graduated from Rice, a double major in stats and sports analytics. How interesting is that? Might go maybe work for your Phillies one day.
I tell you, it's funny. Baseball's the one sport, more so than any other, that just has gone to analytics on how to pitch players and what pitchers should come in late innings to pitch to other hitters. I mean, analytics is a real thing, especially in the major leagues.
So he's got the sports analytics undergrad. Now at William & Mary, he's getting a master's in business analytics. We'll stay on this end. Off the inbound, an air ball. But once again, that tells you, you know, it is a no-no in basketball to foul a jump shooter. But when you're as good of a jump shooter as Terquavion Smith, that's the second time we've seen him get fouled because he puts pressure on the defense. They know that it's priority number one on the scout chart, right? You got to get a hand up. You have to contest.
Right, two things there. You never want to foul a jump shooter, but you never want to foul a jump shooter that's fading away from the basket like Smith was there.
Well, he's had a tough free throw shooting night. Yeah, he got fouled on a 3 earlier, went 1 for 3. A little surprising to see because he shot it pretty well from deep. He does get the roll on the second. Preseason first teamer.
Nelson's done a nice job, other than the first few minutes of the game, of really handling NC State and Joyner's pressure.
Crowd wanted to travel. He was able to hold that pivot foot just long enough and got it away to Mullins. Collier, late shot clock.
Mahorchik, he works so hard on that defensive end. It's really impressive to see, but just the way he gets after it.
Clark tips it out, and he's going to be called for the foul. That's such a difficult play to defend, right? You have to, NC State will run that quite a bit, but you have to contend with Joyner, obviously, the ball in his hands. You got Mahorchik flash it to the basket, and then the third option is Smith getting an open 3.
Yeah, that's exactly, you know, Joyner's got to read that. If he can turn the corner and go to the bucket, that's his first option. The second option is the rolling big man in Mahorchik. And your third option is to a all-ACC preseason player, get Smith the ball.
Just one too many moves for Collier there. The Pitt transfer, 44 appearances with the Panthers in 2 years. Of course, that's the last team that William & Mary played. That's the next team that NC State will play. That's right, ACC play right around the corner on Friday.
I love it. Best time of the year. Let's get into the ACC. I love how there's a game or two prior to January. It used to be it didn't really crank up until later on.
Right.
But with so many teams in the conference.
Casey Morsell hits the 3 and he'll go to the line.
So good to see him having such a great year. He's having another big game today. Again, he's always been one of those guys that here just raises up and knocks down a 3, but he's so good on the defensive end, you know, that sometimes his offensive abilities get overshadowed, but he has shot the ball extremely well, and he's been that third scorer that NC State's going to need.
He's got 13 already tonight, make it 14. He set a new career high just a couple of weeks ago. He dropped 26 on FIU. And so that offensive game for him has really come along. And 21 against Kansas last Wednesday. Dorsey had his pass stolen by Clark. And a live ball turnover. NC State gives it right back. Dorsey working hard, and now they've got numbers the other way. Collier and 1.
Yeah, unfortunate for NC State there. They had numbers, and Smith tried to force it to Mahorchik, and William & Mary ran it down the other end with a bucket and opportunity to get one more. Just tried to make a tough pass instead of throwing ahead to Joyner, and Clark can't stop him without it.
Collier, who scored 4 points on Friday in 14 minutes against his old team, who was saddled with foul trouble for most of that game. 4 fouls in 14 minutes. Morsell NC State getting to the offensive glass. Dorsey will be called for the blocking foul.
It's interesting, we've seen, Gant go in again early in the second half, and he's going to play alongside with Burns. That's something we haven't seen a lot of Keats do, playing two big guys together on the court.
Burns already a crowd favorite. Gant turned down the open shot.
Get it up,
gets it back, and just too many bodies underneath. And that's what you were talking about, right? Jack Clark, he can stretch out. Gant, you would think he's probably got to take that shot, right?
Yeah, but that's not Gant's game. He's not a shooter like that where Clark, he is a dead-eye shooter. But down there on that offense, man, too many passes. Somebody's got to pull the trigger.
I never thought I'd hear you say too many passes.
When I was out there, I wanted my teammates to shoot. I didn't want them passing. I wanted to get an assist.
51-34 score here in Raleigh, and an exciting announcement set to begin next season on both the men's and women's side on the basketball court. The ACC-SEC Challenge. Now, it is important to note, it's not like there's going to be two. They will end the ACC Big Ten Challenge, but it'll be the final challenge this week. What do you think about that, ACC-SEC?
Well, it's always fun. I know for players, it's nice to be able to compete against other teams and other conferences. I know when I was in school back in the late 80s, early 90s, we were in the ACC Big East Challenge. And
there you go.
That was always a lot of fun, just playing against teams that you normally wouldn't play against. And we always look forward to it.
And a three! Boy, William and Mary was giving him that shot. He said, thank you very much.
Well, that was a nice, pleasant surprise to see Gant get one up and knock it down. Again, we haven't seen him play a whole lot. It's not something that we thought in the scouting report, but it's nice to see him out there and get him some quality minutes.
Case baseline drive. Nelson turns down the shot. Unselfish. Mullins' three is short. An offensive rebound. The Tribe continue to crash the glass, and that's the kind of effort Coach Fisher's looking for.
You can see he's over there clapping on the sidelines. He loves those offensive rebounds. I don't know if I've ever heard of a coach. They all like them, but he said, gosh, that's our culture. That's what we really want to develop, is hitting the offensive boards.
Whistle here. I mean, the Tribe averages 12 offensive rebounds per game. But here, as you said, the scouting, you were talking about the scouting report, William and Mary thinking, oh, leave him that shot.
He's had a tough time with injuries. It's really nice to see Gant knock that down and really play some solid minutes. I'm real impressed with NC State coming off 2 victories out of 3 games in the Bahamas. They've really come out, played hard, had a lot of enthusiasm, and they've got a nice lead here in the second half.
Now, we are told, you saw in that replay, it was awfully close for Gant if his toe was on the line. They are going to look at that during the break. But for now, it is a 3. And at least from that one look we saw, wow, 10-second violation here. NC State and that full court pressure turning it up.
That was a little different. That time it wasn't just straight man-to-man. It was a little 2-1-2 press. So you see Coach Keats changing it up a little bit.
Nelson out. Tyler Rice will come back in, one of a couple returning starters. We still haven't seen Ben White. Played just 7 minutes in the first half. Smith, an assist from the floor as he feeds Morcell for 3. And Terquavion Smith ties his career high now with 6 assists.
It looked like it was going to be a turnover, and then he turned it into an assist and a 3-pointer. That's just the way the night's going for NC State.
All right, how many assists do you have like this?
I'll tell you what, you know, it looks like it's going to be a turnover. Hits Morcell. A lot of people don't know this. I was at one time the all-time leading turnover maker at NC State. Gavin Glant broke my record, so there are some records that you don't mind getting off of.
That would be the one. You know what? I tell you what, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's one I don't really let a lot of people know about, but I did hold that for a number of years.
I mean, to be fair, obviously, you had the ball in your hands all the time. So more opportunities for you.
Yeah, well, that's a nice way to put it. There's other things you could say too, but.
NC State up 22, and a big part of that, Casey Morcell, 4 for 6 tonight, and he's actually increasing his average. We will take a timeout here at the PNC Arena. The Wolfpack shooting over 50% as a team tonight. Back with Chris Corciani, Andrew Sanders here. Dorsey cans a three. He doesn't waste any time. Gabe Dorsey, I mean, we came in telling you he could shoot the rock.
Yeah, that was out of a timeout, a set plan, downstream bucket for Dorsey.
He's 3 for 6 tonight from deep. Gantz a three. Not this time. By the way, during that break, they did review that. I will refer to it the long shot that he took, right? They said it was a three, changed it to a 2. Dorsey again, almost the same spot, different results. And offensive rebounds by Lowe. Burns with a steal. Morcell, he's got 20.
Tell you, he is shooting the ball with such confidence. Joyner finds him. You know, last year he shot a little hesitant. He's raising up. Every time he shoots it, he thinks it's going in.
Boy, great defense by Gant. Leads to the lob.
Ah, that's just beautiful basketball right there. That's the way NC State goes. It was nice to see. That was Smith to Joyner. Like you said, it's normally Joyner to Smith.
That's back-to-back possessions. Burns with the steal. That leads to the Morcell three. And then Burns gets that loose ball. And after this play, Burns just nodding his head. He was loving it, saying, I'm making plays out there.
This team loves to play. They're having fun. You know, it's what winning does. When you go to the Bahamas and you have a good showing. They've had good showings in all these early games. And, you know, they just like being out there and playing and having fun. And here they go again.
Burns thought about the outlet. He says, you know what, I better settle it down. Let Smith throw the outlet. Great pass, Mohorčić. NC State got 2 great looks on that possession.
Mohorčić did a really nice job. He made a difficult catch, and without coming down, he found Morcell in the corner. One of the rare shots he couldn't knock down.
Strong take by Lowe as he's fouled by Smith. Under 12 timeout. Boy, the Wolfpack putting on a show. Defense, see Morcell, 20 points. Just 6 shy of his career high. By the way, his career high in 3-point made field goals also set against FIU. He made 6 that night earlier this season. And we talked, you know, very early in this broadcast, NC State's got some talented guards, Morcell obviously being one of them. And he's the beneficiary of some open looks. And he has made the most of those opportunities.
No doubt about it. You've got the dynamic duo in Joyner and Smith. And Morcell's that piece. You know, I said this. If he plays well, NC State can really go up, you know, from being picked 10th in the conference. You know, if he plays the way he's playing now, you know, that they have a huge upside, playing with great confidence.
Morcell looks inside. No double team, and Mohorčić says, that's fine, I'll take it myself.
You know, when he doesn't get doubled down there, and Burns as well, they're tough. They'll just bang you and beat you up until he gets close enough to score.
Casey Morcell, he made 35 three-pointers last season. He's already got 24.
It's all about confidence.
We're not even in December.
Yeah.
Great defensive possession. And Case does a good job just finding Morcell there. Another lay-in from Mahorcic, though.
You know, lay-in from Mahorcic, but set up by Joyner.
Morcell off the steal, yes! You think this team has fun playing together?
I tell you, they love one another, playing with a lot of heart, no doubt about it.
Well, once again, it's the transition. They're getting good looks inside, and then turnover leads to the open three.
Yeah, I mean, they're just out there hustling, running around, having fun. You know what's really nice to see is the bench. Everybody's into it, and that's when you know you have great chemistry, and this team really has that. You know, that's a word often used. The team has good chemistry or good culture. This team likes one another, and their chemistry is special.
It's interesting because earlier we were talking about how, you know, William & Mary has 10 newcomers, right? And NC State added 4 impact transfers, right? Coach Keats has said this before. He said, you know, back when I was at the coach at Hargrave Military Academy, I was used to kind of resetting my roster every year. So he feels like, you know, the transfer portal, it's an adjustment every coach has had to make, but it's probably been less of an adjustment for him than some other coaches.
Well, Coach Keats has done a great job, you know, finding the right players that are going to fit his system and, you know, keeping them all happy. It's a tough thing to do because if you get one bad guy out there, he can take the whole team down. And NC State doesn't have it. They've got really good chemistry. They all are having fun out there.
And that's what I think. It's clear that this team has that chemistry. And that, I think, is unique because it's the 8th game of the season for these guys. You know, it has happened
early,
very quickly.
Very fast, but it's also a mature team. I mean, it's an old team compared to a lot of other teams Coach Keats has had. I mean, they've got veterans out there, and that certainly is beneficial.
Karasensky catch and shoot. Thomas, pass, Ross out there for Coach Keats along with Clark and Mahorcic. Trying out a couple of different rotations as the Wolfpack have opened up a 31-point lead.
Real nice dribble penetration, L.J. Thomas. We talked about him earlier. He's doing a lot of little things to get minutes off the bench for Coach Keats. There he finds Ross with a nice baseline dish.
Ross makes the first free throw. He had 12 points off the bench in NC State's exhibition against Lees McRae. That's a role they like for him, to come in, be an energy guy. I think the next step for this NC State team, look, we've seen that the rotation that plays the largest chunk of minutes, they're playing very well. The next guys off the bench, be it Ross, L.J. Thomas, Breon Pass, right? If they can kind of step into that rotation and make some decisions a little harder for Coach Keats, that would be the next step for this team.
Yeah, Ross is one of those guys that really has an opportunity because he's very athletic, and they're going to need bodies when they get into the ACC season. You know, Gant's shown some good minutes. Thomas has shown some good minutes. You know, Ross is one of those guys got a huge upside.
NC State on a 14-0 run the last 3 minutes and change. Nice pass. Chance for the Tribe to run out. Collier got it.
Here's where Coach Keats, you know, with a big lead, they're up 30. He wants them to be sound. You don't want to get bad habits. So he's telling these guys, listen, let's be solid, let's be sound, let's run our offense.
Kick ball.
You know, it's real easy when you have a lead to just get lazy or lackadaisical, not play defense, and that's what you can see Coach Keats on the sidelines. He's emphasizing, listen, let's stay true to the game.
Thomas being defended by Miguel Aiza, seeing his first minutes tonight.
Yeah, he shuffled.
Late whistle, but the right call.
It was the right call. I think Clark wasn't sure if he was going to shoot it, pass it, or dribble, and he started shuffling those feet.
Jack Clark, the LaSalle transfer from Cheltenham, Pennsylvania. Went to Cheltenham High School, same high school as Dave Bird.
No kidding.
Dave Bird, a.k.a. rapper Lil Dicky. And the star of the TV show Dave.
Dave, there you go. Yeah, Rice with a nice move. You know, he started the first 4 games of the year for the Tribe, and since he's coming off the bench.
And Mohorčić just playing volleyball up there.
He's big, he's strong, he's active. You know, he's one of these guys, he just moves. He moves like a guard, but he has the size of a defensive lineman.
Coach Keats talking to Breon Pass about that finger roll.
You know, Breon's a really talented player. He seems to be pressing a little bit. I'd love to be able to see a shot fall for him because he's too good a talent. But, you know, you see guys like Breon Pass right now is that, you know, he just needs to see the ball go in. You know, confidence is such a big thing in all sports, but basketball, you need to see a little success and build on that. And then you get like Terquavion Smith, and he's got plenty of confidence no matter where he is on the court.
Well, he sees the ball go in a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And with that free throw, Mohorčić now into double figures. He joins Morcell, who has 23, and Terquavion Smith, who has 13. This will take us to immediate timeout. The Wolfpack by 30. NC State has stretched out what was a 15-point halftime lead now to 30, and another live ball turnover. That is a microcosm of what we've seen really in this second half, Chris.
Yep, turnover, steal, leads to an open 3 by Clark. I tell you, that guy can really shoot the ball. He's going to have a breakout game real soon. He's having a pretty good game this evening.
You know who else can shoot it is Aiza, Miguel Aiza. He doesn't play a whole lot, but when he has come in, man, he can really fill it up against Mid-Atlantic Christian. He had 23 points off the bench. Ross Euro stepping, and we'll stay here.
NC State's shooting almost 50% from three-pointers. You're going to win a lot of games when you shoot that percentage.
Especially when you take 25 of them, right? They knocked down 12.
They certainly have.
Unselfish.
He's active. Mohorčić always around the basketball. Very active big man.
We talked about William and Mary and their ability to offensive rebound, averaging 12 per game, but it's NC State who's owned the glass in this one. The Wolfpack with a healthy rebounding margin, right now leading by 13 total rebounds.
We're going to touched on this earlier, but it's such a luxury to have two bigs in Mohorčić and Burns, and they kind of complement one another because Burns is more the kind of guy you can throw the ball in and get a bucket. You know, you need a bucket coming out of a timeout. Burns is that guy. But Mohorčić is more just like a, you know, a ever-ready bunny. He's always all over the place, aggressive, active, strong. But what a luxury to have two big ones like that.
Speaking of excellent post players, and yeah, I agree with your point. I mean, do some different things, but both do what they do very well. Once again, you're seeing Charlie Williams in there. You're seeing Collier in there. And Williams is a guy that, you know, he's in. We have not seen Ben White in this second half. And I hope that he's all right for William & Mary as Joyner finishes a top drive. Coach Keats will call a timeout here to sub, but we look over on the bench. I mean, not icing anything. He's not, wrapped up or anything, but just haven't seen him since his second foul. I know he kind of took a tumble on that foul, and hope he's all right because he's a big piece for this team.
No question, he's the best player on the team, in the early going for William & Mary, but he only played 6 minutes. Not to say if he was in the game, the score would be any different, but that was a big blow for the Tribe having been White out, only playing 6 minutes.
And again, we don't have any official report. We haven't seen him in the second half, but we thought it was just the foul trouble. And then when he didn't come out for the second half, and then haven't seen him in the second 20. Boy, Ernest Ross with the box out, and that allowed Thomas to come in and clean up.
That's right, Ross did a good job, but Thomas is one of those guys, he's finding his role, he's doing all the little things. Nothing too pretty, but all the little things.
L.J. Thomas, the freshman from Plant City, Florida. You like freshman guards from Florida. You're one yourself.
Absolutely, Florida. South Florida, I'll actually be down at that game when NC State plays the University of Miami coming up. I look forward to going to that game.
So Jack Karasinski will go to the free throw line. He is a 50% free throw shooter on the season. And the fans making as much noise as they've made all night. There is a free chicken promotion if you miss 2 free throws under 8.
I wonder if Jack knows exactly what's going on. He probably has no idea why the students are going crazy.
I wonder if he's ever been booed before after making a free throw. The people want their chicken. Ernest Ross with the steal, and he's fouled by Rice. Tyler Rice, he played AAU ball. He's from Columbia, South Carolina. He played for Team Loaded NC in AAU.
Yeah, with the AAU, you're allowed playing if it's a contiguous state. So you see that a lot. My brother was big in AAU basketball down in Louisiana, and he could recruit or offer kids to come play as long as they were in and around the same state.
So it's beneficial to be one of these states in the middle of the country that's, you want to touch 5, 6 other states.
I like the way you're thinking. There you go. You got a career as a GM of an AAU team.
Well, we complimented William & Mary. They were doing a good job in the first half of taking care of the basketball, right? They had 6 turnovers.
Really
that hasn't been the case second half.
No, the second half it's gotten a little sloppy, but NC State turned the heat up here in the second half. Thomas with a nice drive at the other end.
Asa can't hit that one. But this is a William & Mary team that, in the win over Radford, they held the Highlanders to just 51 points. But NC State with an offensive explosion tonight. I had to mention that right before our break. Our producer Josh Monk, a proud Radford alum. NC State up big on William & Mary. Coach Keats and the Wolfpack up next. About opening up ACC play at home against Pitt on Friday. That game can be found on the ACC Network. and then out of conference again before traveling to Miami. So you get a couple of ACC games before Christmas. You like that?
I do. I like being able to kind of, get the ACC season started. We're not in mainstream. We'll get going all downhill after the new year, but it's nice having a little taste of it prior to Christmas.
A taste, and then you can kind of step out of conference again, maybe work on some things before you get through, the gauntlet of the ACC slate.
I tell you, the players are no different than fans. They really want to get into the meat of the season where every game is against a good team or a conference opponent. I know as a fan, that's what I want, and as a player, that's what I wanted as well.
Ibi Dewana in the game for the first time tonight. He was the starter for NC State last year, but with Mahorcic and Burns, his minutes have diminished.
I tell you, he did a great job. I mean, he was thrown into the fire last year, and really had some good moments under very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, Manny Bates injured in the first minute of the season, and so Dewana started 27 games last year. Of course, NC State just saw Manny Bates, and the Wolfpack able to defeat Butler. It's a couple of good non-conference wins for the Pack as Thomas was fouled, or pardon me. That'll be a turnover. We'll take a look at the William and Mary schedule. They got the Spiders up next, staying in state for the next couple of games.
I tell you, Richmond, it doesn't matter what year in and year out, Richmond always puts a very good basketball team on the floor.
They beat NC State last year.
Oh, yeah. They've beaten a lot of teams over the years.
And this is a situation where you don't usually hear the home fans cheering after a whistle, but again, they want some free throws. Well, they want Alex Nunnally too, and he's going to take the warm-ups off.
I'll tell you, this was funny. Keats was talking to Turquavian Smith, and he told Turquavian, you go down there and tell those guys to get in. So Baby T ran down there like he was a coach and put in the walk-ins.
And T getting the fans on their feet.
It's amazing what winning will do for a team. It just brings you together. It's fun, and it's contagious. The more you win, the more you want to do it.
So KJ Keats, coach's son, handling the point guard duties. 5 new players on, and they're going to get some significant time here, 2.5 minutes. And this is where you just try to make sure that everybody gets a shot, right?
That's right.
Chase Graham. Again, Aisa doesn't take him any time to get warmed up. He's made a couple of threes.
Hey, that was a smooth stroke by Aisa. He didn't hesitate. Great rotation on that shot and knocked it down.
This is Jordan Snell, freshman from Cary.
Shoot it, I'll tell you. We knew going into the game they were making about 10 threes a game. Knocked down 2 in the last 45 seconds.
Jake Milkwright. We didn't see him since that turnover he had in the first half. That's his first bucket of the game. And another turnover. Williams missed the dunk. The NC State bench enjoying what they've seen so far, although they've seen an air ball and a couple of turnovers.
Yeah, it's always good to see the starters kind of cheering on the rest of the guys.
So the fans want to see a pair of misses. Milkwright, an 82% free throw shooter, and he just made a 3. I don't know if he's the best candidate.
He's not the guy the fans want to see on the line.
Did Graham get a piece of that?
I think he did. The bench liked it, that's for sure.
Oh, Milkwright does miss one.
Hey, it's been an impressive showing. You know, NC State could have came out flat. They certainly didn't. Came out with a lot of energy. They really took over in the second half.
It was a 15-point halftime lead that, ballooned. Wolfpack went on a 13-0 run. Speaking of, William Mary is in the midst of a 13-0 run. It was 84-47. Snell's going to go to the free throw line here.
You know, NC State in the Bahamas, they went on a 19-2 run against Butler and then a 17-0 run against Dayton. That's one of the things Coach Keats has made an emphasis on. He's like, listen, when we're hot, momentum's on our side, you know, let's widen those runs.
First career free throw for Jordan Snell. Milkwright will go to the line to shoot 2 more. As the Tribe in the double bonus.
Okay, he's gotten 5 points in about the last 90 seconds, and Milkwright's going to the line for 2 more.
Milkwright, sophomore from Dallas, Bishop Lynch High School. He was a top 20 player coming out of the state of Texas in high school. Second free throw good as well. You've seen quite a few soccer jerseys around the stadium. How about the big win for the United States over Iran today?
Was that fun to watch? I tell you, it's really neat how the whole country, the whole city, the state, the country all come together, and to see them move on to the Sweet 16 is it's going to be exciting to watch them play Saturday.
Playing the Netherlands. 5 on the shot clock. Keats lost it. Williams, a second chance, and this one he stuffs. They get Nunnally. Oh, he turns down a shot at the horn. NC State will celebrate an 85-64 win over the William and Mary Tribe. So Wolfpack had a lot of success in the Bahamas. They come back home, and their final non-conference game before their first ACC game. Not their final of the season, but before the first ACC. And hey, just like they had Butler on Friday, 5 in double figures.
No question, they had 5 guys in double figures. They got out in transition, and they really shot the ball well, especially from 3-point range.
Yeah, the Wolfpack shot 49% tonight. Casey Morcell just 3 points shy of a career high. For our fantastic crew here in Raleigh and my partner Chris Corciani, I'm Andrew Sanders saying good night, everybody. This has been a presentation of ESPN.